Well, actually, the regular board meeting for the Batavia Park District for November 17th, 2015. Please call the roll.
Riley?
Here.
Boyles?
Here.
Tillman?
Here.
Gray? Here. Callahan?
Here. So this evening, we have a public hearing. So I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing concerning the intent of the Batavia Park Board of Commissioners to sell $50,000 in general obligation limited tax park bonds for park improvements.
So moved, but it's $2,050,000.
Oh, $2,050,000. My apologies.
Second.
So I have a motion by Tillman and a second by Foyles. Do we need a roll call? Okay.
Not to call.
Okay.
To order.
So it's open.
Maybe you should do it. All in favor?
All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Our public hearing is open, and the purpose of this public hearing is our intention to sell limited tax, or general obligation tax park bonds. This is a annual sale, generally speaking, that the Park District has been doing for the past, I would say, more than 10 years, and these funds are used with very specific purpose. These funds are used to purchase properties. These funds are used to do park improvements or renovations, all for predominantly infrastructure or capital development or capital improvement plans that have already been in place by the Batavia Park District. This has allowed us to maintain our parks at a higher level. In addition, it also allows us to refurbish older parks. And as of this year, I believe we have now been through all of our parks once to do a complete renovation of those older parks, and are now in a position to develop some parks that need development, and also go back to some of those that we redeveloped about 15 years ago and begin to ensure that they meet the safety standards and the level of quality that the Park District wants to maintain for this community. So, if anyone would like to speak, now would be the time.
So do we have to give we have to be here for half an hour, 45 minutes waiting for somebody to come in? No? Just thought I'd let you know.
Go find someone.
So, seeing no public wishing to speak with regards to this public hearing, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:05.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Foyle. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Happy Thanksgiving. Likewise.
Very good. Well, let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
It's a design.
So I would entertain, first of all, any items to be added, removed, or changed on the agenda?
We can move number 13, presentations, seeing that there are none.
Remove presentations. All righty. That's easy enough. All right, so item number 6, I would entertain a motion to establish the consent agenda as follows. The approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting of October 20th, approval of the minutes of the executive session of October 20th, approve the minutes of the special board meeting of October 27th, approve of the paid expenditures, unpaid expenditures, treasurer's report, and purchases, and approve of the resolution number 232, notice of appointment of authorized IMRF agent.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shall I please call the roll?
Tillman?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Boyles?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye, motion carries. So I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as established.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Foyles. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is matters from the commissioners. I have one, but I'll let you guys go first if you...
No.
No?
I got nothing.
Okay. All right, you got nothing? All right, so let me find it here. So I had occasion to meet with Steve McKenna and I'm sorry, I can't.
Sharon Mitchell? Joe Novotny.
Joe Novotny, last week. Just conversation, and it got to a point in the conversation where the Parks Foundation would like us to provide some guidance and direction to them that's consistent with our vision for where the Park District is going. So I suggested that we get together as a group, their board and our board, informally. I mean, it's still a board meeting, but informally, not in one of our public settings, but perhaps in our, executive boardroom. And the dates that they provided me that they are available are the 16th of December, the 9th of January, or the 23rd of January. So if you could put those on your calendar and just shoot me an email back.
Say those again, please.
I'm sorry, the 16th of December, the 9th of January, or the 23rd of January.
Isn't that the IPRA, 23rd?
29th, January 29th is IPRA
I
State
think this is the week
Conference.
before.
Oh, okay.
So
later
look at your
this year.
calendars and just get back to me, and so we can get back to them. Really, just the two boards, having a conversation about almost like a little workshop, strategic
So
thinking.
these are
planning.
Saturdays.
Yeah, these are Saturdays.
It would depend on the time. I mean,
December
No, it's a Wednesday.
December 16th.
December 16th is a Wednesday, but the
January
rest are
9th,
Saturdays.
January 9th or January 23rd. So they agreed that they could meet early in the morning, 7 a.m. meeting, or in the afternoon. So I guess, why don't you just tell me what your availability is, and I can try to find the right time amongst all of us, okay? I thought that was a great suggestion
Mhm.
to get together, so, thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is correspondence, and I think we've had two pieces of correspondence. A letter from the Park District Risk Management Agency, PADERMA, notifying the Park District of financial reimbursement award based on successful participation in the Starfish Aquatics Lifeguard Risk Management audits conducted in 2015 summer season. And a letter from Michelle Anderson, Community Relations Chair for the Batavia Mothers Club Foundation, extending appreciation to Carrie for volunteering for their bake-off. Thanks for taking one for the team.
And there aren't calories, they're delicious points.
Yes, very good, I like that. I'll remember that when I go home tonight. Okay, so next item on the agenda is announcements.
Thank you. Kick off the holiday shopping season at the new Holiday Craft Market to be held inside the City Council chambers from 4 to 7 p.m. on November 29th. Browse a number of craft vendors, enter to win raffles, and have your items gift wrapped courtesy of the Batavia High School Art Boosters. Visit bataviaparks.org for a full list of vendors. Experience the magic of the holiday season at this year's Celebration of Lights Festival on Sunday, November 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Riverwalk. There will be a performance by the Batavia Community Band, free hay rides, roasted chestnuts, a holiday craft market, a community sing-along, and more. And don't forget to stick around to meet Santa for our ceremonial tree lighting. The festival is presented by the Batavia Park District in partnership with Batavia Main Street, the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Batavia, and the Batavia Police Department. Ho, 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 Santa Claus is coming to town on Saturday, December 5th at 8:30 a.m. at the Eastside Community Center for the annual Breakfast with Santa. Visit with the big guy, enjoy a delicious breakfast prepared by the Batavia Lions Club, and then stick around for some family-friendly entertainment. Channel your inner Clark Griswold for this year's Holiday House Decorating Contest. We will be awarding prizes in 4 categories this year. Most original, best theme, best use of light, and this year we are adding a People's Choice Award. All displays will be judged on Wednesday, December 9th between 6 and 9 p.m. Winners will receive a lawn sign declaring their winning status as well as a Park District prize pack. The contest is for Batavia Park District residents only, and addresses will be published. The registration fee is $5, and the deadline is Tuesday, December 8th. For more information on any of these events, please visit bataviaparks.org or give us a call at 879-5235.
Thank you very much. So next item on the agenda is staff reports. So I'll start with staff providing any updates or commentary or...
I will start, and I want to offer all of you the opportunity to join us tomorrow, if you're at all available. We are going to be starting from here, this Civic Center, at 9 o'clock on our third bus tour of the year. We have taken all full-time staff now. This is the last group to go. And of course, we're still missing one brand-new rec person, so we'll have to give her a tour on her own, I guess. But we've had a really good time, and it's a lot of fun for the folks that haven't really been here long or haven't been able to get around the entire district. We hit all the parks and facilities. It's usually 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock-ish, and we stop probably tomorrow down at the Peg Bond Center for a quick lunch, bag lunch, bring your own lunch, and it's a lot of fun. We've given a lot of knowledge out, and folks have really appreciated it.
And Jim and Eric are masters of ceremony for that event, so you can imagine how much fun it is.
He drives, I talk.
Welcome to Batavia Park District Trailway.
That's right. Yeah.
Like Smokey and the Bandit.
Taking the trolley?
Pardon me?
Taking the trolley.
We are not taking the trolley. We're taking the closed bus tomorrow.
What takes so long is they
Maybe
go on a
someday we will.
hayride. The whole thing's done by a hayride.
Maybe July. Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be a little wetter and colder, I'm afraid. Aaron?
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Aaron Gold. I've been hired on as the new Director of Finance. I'm most excited to go on the tour tomorrow with these two fine gentlemen, get to see the parks and the recs, but I did, my family and I live right over north of the high school, and I take my son to the parks, when the weather allows, and I'm excited to work for the community in which I live. My background in government finance lends perfectly to the position, and I just can't say thank you enough to Allison and the rest of the team for instilling this responsibility onto me, and I just want you all to know that I will work as hard as possible to advance the mission of this organization.
Now, usually he's out back, and we can get him to walk up the walk of shame. That does, just because he's sitting over here, I don't think exempts him from
Aaron, I'd
having
love
to
for
come
you
and
to
walk.
do the hand, the handshake and walk.
Around that way?
It's tradition, Aaron. Sorry.
Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Some traditions can't be broken.
That's right, no, you're right.
College fight song?
I don't think that's necessary.
He just likes to sing, I'm hoping.
We'll start a new tradition next year.
So I think we struck gold with our new finance director, Aaron.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I had to.
That's got to stick.
Well, welcome.
Sure it will. All right, we got coming up at the end of this week, weather permitting, we're going to be installing the Peace on Earth on the pedestrian bridge downtown. So if not, it'll be the first part of next week. So it'll be up and glowing for anybody to take pictures for the holiday. And we're in the final process of our leaves, and I know you don't want to hear this, but we've started our switch from mow mode to snow mode on all our multi-type of pieces of equipment. Lots of noise going on inside the shop, and the first couple of days are kind of fun because we're putting that to bed and doing those services, but that impending white stuff is coming, so. that's
Maybe
where we're at.
sooner than you think.
Yeah, calling for a little bit on Friday and Saturday.
As soon as the peace sign goes up, do you light it, or do you wait
Yes.
for the celebration of lights?
We typically light it right away.
Okay, just wanted to,
Yeah, it hasn't, we could do that sometime, but it has not been put onto this year's agenda.
okay. Thank
Good
you.
question, though.
And the
Thank you.
lighting was provided by Craig Photos of Photos Tensorial Parlor. Thank you, Craig.
All right. I am pleased to announce we received 2 grants recently. One is through Illinois Department of Public Health that will cover half the cost of an AED replacement. Some of ours need to just be updated. And the other is through Paderma to cover the cost of our new safety video for the quarry that we saw last month. So good news there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Just a couple follow-up things from my report. We are working on Celebration Lights, as I mentioned in here. I just did want to give a shout out. We do have several sponsors this year. K-Hits 104.3 will be there broadcasting. With that relationship, we're going to get a lot of airtime, which is really nice, so they'll be promoting our event. Menards this year has donated a $250 gift card, which is awesome. That helps us supplement some of the costs for the lights, so to save a little bit. McAllister's Deli in Geneva has been very helpful, and then Wazio Orthodontics. And then Katie is actually working on a 5th sponsor. She said fingers crossed, so hopefully that comes through. And then Woodman's actually did donate a small gift card toward the purchase of the roasted chestnuts. So that also helps our pocketbook a little bit too. So that'll be nice. The Holiday Craft Market is getting a huge response on Facebook. So we're really excited about that addition and hope that it brings a lot more people out to experience the festival. So, and then just to mention that the volunteer committee is planning for next year's volunteer fair. It will be Saturday, February 6th over at the Eastside Community Center. So we've already got the application updated for that and are sending that out to this year's organizations to start planning for that.
All right. Okay. Anyone else? Next item is, actually, board, any questions or comments on staff reports? Actually, I'll fill one in. You know, so I want to give a shout out to the Batavia Bulldogs, who had a terrific season. It is now over. But a specific shout out to the seniors, one of which is my son, I have to say. But they were, 11 years ago, they were the very first Batavia Bulldog youth football camp class, and now they're graduating. So what a difference the Park District makes. They had a terrific season, so good for all of you.
A lot of tackles by Sean.
Sean likes tackling.
Yes, he does. He does it very well.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dennis Piron, for that vision that you had 12 years ago then?
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
to start the Batavia Youth Football Program and to link up with the Park District as your partner.
And he's being honored by the Bears, right?
By the Bears as, coach, I think it was for every week they had like a coach of the week.
Yeah.
And I think it was week 7. Actually, no, it might have been actually week 8. He was coach of the year, so he gets to go to the Bears game, so. Yeah, all the coaches did a terrific job this year. Really well done. Okay, so executive director's report.
Yes, as we welcome our new finance director, Erin Gold, to the team, we wish our human resources and risk manager, Jennifer Bruggeman, we wish her well in her future endeavors. Right now is a crazy busy time with performance reviews for all staff, and we're setting new work plan goals that align with our strategic master plan. So we're working on scorecards and work plan goals and performance reviews. Oh my.
Awesome. Any questions, board? All right, so moving on to item number 15, new business, 15A. The approval of okay. So anybody want to set this up as to what this is, or should I just read it?
Actually, under the director's notes, did you want me to read that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is for the levying, assessment, and collection of taxes. Staff recommends that we increase the aggregate tax levy by 3% to capture the new EAV and the increase in the CIP, or CPI. The final calculated increase will likely be limited to approximately 1.5% when the county clerk applies the limitations established by the property tax extension limitation law. A truth in taxation hearing is not necessary for this board meeting because the 2015 aggregate levy does not exceed the 2014 aggregate extension by 5% or more.
Very good. So I entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 351, levying, assessment, and collection of taxes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Foil, second by Tillman. Any further discussion? Shelley, please call the roll.
Boyles,
Aye.
Tillman,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Gray, Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. This is our favorite item. Item number 15B, IAPD member credentials, annual meeting designations.
It's a necessary evil.
It is. So this is at our annual conference in January, at the end of January. We need to appoint a commissioner and a designee and an alternate as a voting member for the Batavia Park District for the annual meeting of the Illinois Association of Park Districts. So we'll start by volunteers, otherwise there'll be nominations.
I'll be there.
All right, so Gary, we'll make Gary our designee. Anybody want to be an alternate?
I can't, I have plans.
I didn't know you could do that.
I have a previous commitment on that Saturday.
Okay.
That's funny because the last 2 years, I think you've been the designee.
I have, right.
Well, tradition is it's the newest board member.
Right. So until there's another new person.
Which there won't be for another 2 years. And maybe even others.
Anyone else can be around Saturday afternoon?
I actually might be, so I'll volunteer.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm planning to be there.
I can't commit.
So I would entertain a motion to appoint Commissioner Foils as the designee and Commissioner Callahan as the alternate to represent the Batavia Park District as voting members during the annual meeting of the Illinois Association of Park Districts.
So moved.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Boyles.
No. It's already 3.
Callahan.
Aye. Motion carries. Well, that's a blast. That's a blast from the past, Gary. We'll have to have a conversation about that later. That happened a lot at one point on this board.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
All right, so item number 15C, administrative policy discussion.
Yes, before you is the first reading of the fund balance policy. And in the shaded box at the end of the policy, you'll see what the change to the policy is. It increases the range of the fund balance target.
Makes sense, especially in light of the fact that we're under the threat of a complete tax cap, not just a tax cap, but a tax freeze.
Yep.
It does make sense for us to continue to ensure that we can maintain operations at the level this community expects of us. So, does anyone really need to read it, or do we have to have a second reading? Do we need to do a first reading, a second reading?
I had a question, actually,
Sure.
when I was
Yeah.
reading it the first time. It seems like it's just a big window. I mean, it's like to 3 to 12, I mean, it's like a year. May as well, when do we, when the fund starts to raise at 10 months, do we say, oh, well, now we should start to look at it? Or, I mean, it seems like just a wide range.
I think the reason why, because they fluctuate and there's no guarantee of how much we can put in there, that during the initial discussion, the intent was to set a base and say, okay, 3 months, right? Or 6 months in this case now, to say that's our base, that's our target base. 12 months is the high end of the range. So we had the ability to be within that based on what we had available to us. If expenditures are lower than anticipated, we could then put the money into that reserve fund if there was, surplus. So I think the range has to be there because I think if we narrow it too much, we're not going to hit it. We're going to be in violation of our own policy.
Which is the way that this policy is being amended is the recommendation of SICKH too, because we need to, it's too narrow the way it currently is. And it's too rigid for us to follow.
The other thing is we get a lot of our revenue at one time, when the tax revenue comes in at one time.
Right.
And also when a lot of the summer program revenue comes in at one time, yet a lot of that has to last the whole year, so you've got the ability to put it someplace before you use it.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, we have some more reason for it.
Yeah.
Jim, did you have any insights that you wanted to share about it?
I think your comment that the range as it was established was too narrow is right on point. What was happening is, and what would continue to happen, is 3 to 6 months is such a narrow margin that it's really easy to exceed the 6 months during the course of your operations, and then, as Pat described, now you're in violation of your own policy. 12 months is not an unreasonable accumulation of funds in any of your funds. If you were at 30 months, then I'd suggest to you, you're getting a little out of the prudent range, and actually even getting into a point where it starts to be a concern related to tax objections and those kinds of things. But 12 months is a very common practice, and 6 months is, to be honest, in my view, unreasonably narrow, and has caused and would continue to cause you to violate your own policy, but it's not really necessary to have you violate that policy, because you just expand that window to a reasonable amount. 12 months is completely reasonable.
So our auditors have suggested this range because that's more consistent with our
What we're
I guess,
doing.
cash flow through the year based on what they've seen. Is that basically it?
Mhm. And to your point earlier, this is just a first reading, but certainly if the board was comfortable with what the recommendation is, you could approve it tonight if you wanted to.
Well, I'm fine with letting it just be a first reading. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I think that gives everyone a chance if they.
yeah.
To
Think of something else.
digest.
Think of something else, it's fine.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Any other comments, questions on that? Next item on the agenda is the recommendation for the renaming of the boat club.
Yes. Yes, it is. With all of the recent renovations that have been made to the boat club, it's a complete overhaul to the exterior, the interior. We are now breathing new life into the facility with recreational programming that had tapered off, in the 90s. And breathing new life into it with rentals. It is going to be, Laurelwood Park is going to be the home next year to a new Eastside Bark Park. So we can start hosting all sorts of pet classes in that facility as well, doggy birthday parties, obedience classes, etc. Girl Scout, Boy Scout troops are eyeballing it now for sleepovers because it's an opportunity next to the river where they can earn merit badges for kayaking, canoeing, all sorts of great things. So really, it's a rebranding of the facility, and what better way to rebrand it than to name it something a little jazzier than the boat club, because it's not currently being used as a boat club. So the lodge.
Hasn't been for a while.
Seeing that you couldn't get a boat anywhere near there.
So the lodge is the recommendation. And actually, Jim Eby and Carla Hill, when asking for staff recommendations, we had heard various things such as, Goose Landing because of all the droppings. We don't want that to stick too much, but the lodge at Laurelwood has an alliteration to it, but we would call it the lodge, and it would be at Laurelwood Park. So I would respectfully ask that the board consider the transformation of the boat club into something more than what it is. As
So is
the
it going
lodge.
to, but is it really the lodge or the lodge at Laurelwood? I mean, the lodge at Laurelwood actually, I think, makes more sense than the boat club or the lodge. I mean, in terms of a formal name, but.
The sign that was cut on the first draft says the lodge at Laurel.
Yeah, right, so,
And not to be presumptuous, but we thought, you know what, let's play with this a
you
little
said
bit.
draft. You said draft.
Yeah.
The
That's
top
what you did.
board is the lodge, the second board is at Laurelwood, so there is a separation. I'm sure most people will call it lodge.
Well, it's sort of like Patrick is Pat.
Exactly.
The lodge at Laurelwood is the lodge.
But they're
there's that-
spelled different.
They are.
Okay.
And there's that alliteration, lodge, Laurelwood.
Does the lodge fall into our, we were just talking about policies of naming facilities?
It does because with the spirit or intent of that area.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to make sure.
Do Do I
Yep,
read after you?
we, yes.
See, I spent so
I
much
have it right here.
time, I spent so much time over there
That's what you're getting at.
that I was hoping that it would be the lodge at John Tillman, but the lodge at the, fine. No, that's all right.
No, and
fine.
actually,
I don't need it. I don't
To
need
your
it.
point, I did come prepared, so I do have the actual naming of the parks and facilities
Figured
policy
you would,
with me.
that's why I asked the question.
And so, in here, it does say, if the board chooses to rename the facility, it is your choice, it's your decision, that we would prepare the appropriate signage, the official records, the maps, the plats, all that good, the marketing materials, website, et cetera. We would make sure that the whole gambit is
So you're gonna do like a ribbon cutting ceremony? Or
Actually-
wait till the dog park thing is
We
done?
could do an open house, but that, which makes sense, we did budget for that for next year, so we were planning on waiting for the dog park, because we would probably do a naming rights with that too, or at least, maybe, we're gonna do the community input sessions, Jim and I have already talked about that. Jim and Eric and I have talked about bringing in the community to help us develop that area as a dog park, so we can get the dog owners. We would love to hear from you when we begin that process, so. So I turn it back over to the board and what you'd like to do.
So I would entertain a motion to rename the boat club to the Lodge at Laurelwood.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion about the renaming of the boat club? Seeing none?
Call it the boat club anymore.
I can now, you didn't vote yet.
You just entertained the motion, you didn't vote on it yet.
Just a motion.
Yeah, I still call it Sears Tower, so.
Yeah. Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Boyles.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye, motion carries.
You're on the fence there, Gary.
He was thinking about no.
Yeah, just think about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And staff will work on that plan right away to start changing the name.
Good.
See all the smiles? There are a lot of smiles over there.
Wow.
Dean was the most excited.
True. He's recovering right now.
So Fox Valley Special Rec, any update on that?
Other than.
Friday night's the,
Yep, we've got a big fundraiser this Friday night, Northern Nights and Tree Lights. So next board meeting, I'll be able to tell you how much was raised.
great. So I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel 2C1 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Foils. Please call the roll, Shelley.
Tillman.
Aye.
Boyles.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Gray. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you very much for joining us this month. We will have no action items after executive session, so have a very safe and happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in December.
Happy Thanksgiving.